Righto, so in this episode we've got a gearbox, so I can finally figure out what we're going to do there and see how it's all going to mount up. And we start looking at engine mount positions, and we do another rust repair section in the boot. But anyway, since last episode, finally clicked over the 1,000 subscribers, so thanks very much. Still not enough to retire, but from YouTube, but oh well. Luckily I've still got my day job for the time being, although with the oil price I don't know how long I'll still have that, but yeah, oh well, let's get into it. Mark that out, we'll cut that out, throw it onto that piece, chop it out, see if it fits. So now that's out, I'll trim that up, cut it up. I'll cut outside the line so I've got room to trim it back so I can put it in and work it back into place. Actually what I might do is I'll go outside, I'll grab the fuel tank, drop the fuel tank in, a couple of bolts in it to hold it in place, and that way when I cut this out I can make sure the bolt holes are bolted in place and then weld it up, so later on when it comes to fitment time it should be bang on. Yeah, so I'll mark this out and get back to you once I've marked it and cut it out. What do we got going on? Oh, there we go. Now I'll chuck some of these in. So running, yep. So I've got the tank bolted in and I've got 2 screws in there, bolted down, pushed it all in place, and then I've got underneath it and marked along that edge, even better. So I'll take it off, flip it over, trim it back to that line, just on the cut side of the line, and that way I can just sand it back, as I've already made a boo-boo, which I seem to do quite a few of. The fill panel wasn't quite as long as I thought it was, so I've got like a, what would that gap be? Probably starts at like 3 mil and goes out to 5 or 6. Oh well, get it on the big jobs I guess. Oh, time to crawl under here and rip this out. So there we can see the line, which was when this goes in like that, marked against that edge. So I'll trim this up and get it back in. So there we have it, sitting in place. It's got the 2 bolts in it again, couple of, I don't even know what they're called, but a couple of those in there to keep it level. Go grab the welder and throw a few tacks on it. Now you can pull the tank back out, it is empty, but you know, you can still sort of half smell that friggin' old fuel that's been sitting for who knows how long. It's empty, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go grab the welder. Well, there we have it. That's just raw. Obviously it's not sexied up with a flappy paddle over it, but that's another piece down. So pretty well it's that and the trans tunnel left, I think. Yeah. I just got just doing some other stuff at the moment, but I just opened up my tin of paint, that friggin' shit, and did destroy it trying to get it off, but when I opened it up, it obviously wasn't sealed properly and just made it like that, this thick. No, look, that's, ugh. I'm not like world's strongest man, but I'm pretty friggin' not too bad at weights and stuff, but look at that. That is friggin' hectic as, but you get underneath it, it's still got a layer, but it comes through, it's still liquid underneath. So I'll have to cling wrap over that next when I shut it off. I just built a toolbox for the back of my Dodge sitting out there. But yeah, just thought I'd quickly get that on camera. Pretty strong stuff. Righto. Well, the big Dodge is currently out of action because the clutch master cylinder hose rubbed through. So we've got the parts getter here at the moment. Called back into duty. It rained when I was out the other day in it. Voila! So we've got a box, finally throw behind that engine so we can start making brackets and mounts and everything. Grab my phone out, where can I sit this? I'll sit this there and see if we can get this out. Oh. These things definitely aren't the lightest. I mean, look at the size of that thing. Crikey. This one looks a little different to the last one I had. I don't know, it just seems fatter. But we'll shed some light on the situation. We'll pull the motor out, throw that in, and try and get some angles looking right. As you can see, I've got V8, might be easy to show on this side. So I bought V8 mounts, and they should be able to mount off the block. I'll get this out and I'll show you what I mean. So, I'll get this stop wobbling. So basically I'm just going to make a plate that bolts here, and then from that it'll come out with some brackets and then a plate which will bolt to there. Will they be strong enough? Don't know, we'll find out I guess. But yeah, same thing, this one's even easier because they're all even. Bolt there, came out. So that side of things should be very simple, provided once the box is on, it sits at that height. But I'll lower it down and we'll throw this box on the back. There we go, got it thrown up with a couple of bolts. Took a few random brackets off the box and took the shifter out. So I'll throw it up in place and see how it goes. Tell you what, these bolts, a couple of those were hard to find. All my bolts I've got laying around, not one. And then over in the far corner of the shed, I found some in a box when I pulled apart my TD42 gearbox after I broke the crank. I originally thought I'd broke the gearbox, so I pulled the gearbox out, pulled it apart, did not find anything wrong with the gearbox, and then couldn't figure out how to put it together again. So after I didn't find anything wrong with the gearbox, I crawled under the car, reached back on my creeper, grabbed the flywheel to pull myself under the car. When I grabbed the flywheel, it went clunk. And yeah, that was when the penny dropped and went, oh shit, I've broken a crank. Surprisingly, I wasn't mad, I was more excited that I'd made enough power to break a crank. But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, luckily, years later down the road, being a hoarder paid off because I found some bolts to bolt it up. So I'll throw this in there and see how she fits. So, got it sitting back in there, roughly about the spot. So where I had it sitting, I think I might even have it pushed a little bit further back, maybe. There, let's see if you can see in there. So we'll pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, build a plate for there, then the brackets coming down to a plate on here where it'll bolt into those two eyes. Got a little bit of room for movement there. And around this side, so I'll clearance this pipe with my clearancing tool. We might even slide the motor a bit forward, but I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see, but there's four bolt holes there that I'll do the same thing with. Bolt it up. I'll use the original engine mounts, these that bolt to the block, to build my templates from. They're the original 4J mount, so it's just a solid block of rubber. Yeah, so hopefully those V8 ones should be even better because they're half tied in because the steel that folds around them. Yeah, and shifter and gearbox position. So that's it there. So obviously I'll have to build the firewall out a little bit there, and firewall trans tunnel out of it. But yeah, not bad location. Obviously that column shift will be gone. But yeah, and underneath you can see it's actually sitting in a very good spot for the tail shaft. Down, move up a bit. So it is on a slight angle. So the yeah, when I build the mount for that, I'm just going to use the original mount. No point in reinventing the wheel when that's going to work pretty well. So it'll probably be tube with It might even be, might make a box section actually, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, maybe box section, yeah. Yeah, and bolt and go across. And when I get a diff for it, we'll just have to make sure the angles are the same. So my tail shaft hasn't got like a straight yoke, straight uni, and then like one that goes on a bend. They've either got to be, you got to try and have them on the same. So if it comes out here, goes down, you want those two angles to be the same. But yeah, looks like that's going to work, so I'll pull this back out. Actually, before I pull it out, I might go grab a seat, throw a seat in it, and see how good that shifter feels. Give me a sec. There we go, loosely got a seat thrown in it. Woohoo! There we go. What? Oh, I should be rattle, 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 rattle. Alright. Not too bad. I think it might be worth putting a little bit of a bend back, just because that's full stretch there. So I can just a little bit back, about there. So then that'll put first. Yeah, that'll be good. Rattle, 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 rattle. It's gonna be cool. Can't wait. Actually, just before I pulled the engine out, I had a thought. This is the factory 4J mount. If I actually put that in there and just cut this whole rubber section away, so all that, sit there, damn it. So cut all this off, cut these tabs off there. So it's basically just essentially that part and then a flat bracket. I might just be able to weld a piece off that to go down to sit against that. Ah! Got my work boots on too. So where can I sit this? Sit my sunnies there. Sit that there, hopefully. So hopefully you can see that. So that'll go there, cut off, and then this piece will sit under there pretty well. Not good enough to go like that, but you know, very close. Basically replace this with some droppers. So that's what I'm thinking on that side. And this side, yeah, it'll just be I'll just make this side because it's easy. It's a flat surface with bolt holes straight down to another flat surface. So I've just marked that where I got a clearance it a bit. Yeah. So this side's not changing. That side, like I said, we'll probably give that a crack. I know I coughed, I got corona. Yeah, so anyway, I think I will call it for this episode and throw this online. You've been pretty patient with me. I haven't really done bugger all. We've got a few things on the go. Obviously the Dodge outside, out of action. Hopefully I'll get a call this afternoon and get the bits back for it. The old Val. She's come to the saviour and given me a daily driver. Yeah, actually, I need to get, does anyone know an Australian supplier in southeast Queensland, of that Steel It coatings, that spray, because I really need to get something done. That coating old mate posted that front end with is obviously wearing away, and it's starting to get some surface rust on it, so I need to blast that apart and get it painted before it gets too far gone. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah. Oh yeah, actually, before I give the thumbs up and say catch us later, yeah, no, I'll say it at the intro. Anyway, cheers, thank you.